Go. All right, so here we are in the classroom. We're going to be talking about break-even analysis right now. I've got my students working on some calculations. You can probably hear them in their groups in the background. But let me just give you a few things here that you can use to help understand this very important concept. When we talk about break-even, we're talking about a business analysis of two things, the income and the outgo. And at break-even, income, which is your revenues from selling things, is equal to the total of all your costs. That's break even. You've gotten some money in, you put some money out, you're at zero. That's break even analysis. Really important to be able to figure this out so you know where you're going to stand in your projections. All right. Now when we're working with incomes, you pretty much know what that is. It's whatever you take in. When we're working with costs, there are two kinds of costs. There are fixed costs and there are variable costs. An example of fixed costs would be rent. Every month, and therefore every day, you're paying so much out in rent. Never changes. It's every day the same thing. And when you talk about variable costs, those change depending on how much something you make. So, for example, if I make one entree to serve, I have food costs, which are variable costs associated with that. If I make two entrees, I have twice as much variable costs that I incurred. So we're going to fixed costs will stay the same. Variable costs will change depending upon how many you manufacture. Now, here's a very important thing to talk about. It's called contribution margin. This is the money that you have left that you're going to use to contribute to your fixed costs and your profits. We'll talk about that in the next video. But the basic calculation for contribution margin is extremely simple. It's the selling price minus the variable cost is contribution margin. For example, suppose we have an entree that sells for $10. That's a steak, for example. On your menu for $10, sells for $10. And let's say it cost you $4 to make it. That's your variable cost. The cost of the steak, the potatoes, all the gravy, whatever you're going to put on there, adds up to $4. So when we subtract $4 from $10, we end up with $6. That's called contribution margin. Very, very important. Each item on your menu, each product that you sell, each service you deliver will have a separate contribution margin. You need to know what each one of them is.